Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with horse racing tips for Saturday, the 19th of July. Well, it's a five pence each way Goliath. I do like the look of these selections. Charlie, I can hear echo in the background. I'm doing it in the bathroom. So there you go. Nothing to do with any sound issues. I'm just in a tiled bathroom. Anyway, let's get into it. So, as I said, it's a five pence each way Goliath. I've gone for a number of selections that I like the look of. There's a few where I'm just like testing my luck, and I shall tell you about those in a second. But what I will say is, virtually every single course that I've had a selection at has either been affected by the rain or will be affected by the rain. You're going to see all different kinds of tactics, in my opinion, because there's an awful lot of courses that have had quite a lot of rain. Newbury have had loads of rain. What I'll do is I'll flick on the. So you can't see this. It's slightly off camera, but I'm just going to type in Newbury, and then I'm going to learn how to spell. Right. Newb. So Newbury Racecourse. I wasn't going to show you this because everybody's capable of seeing the weather for themselves. So I'm going to go back in time because Newbury have already had a deluge. So I'm going back in 30-minute increments. It's currently 9 o'clock. So I'm going back to 8:30 in the morning. So they can see. Don't get me wrong. The blue isn't. It isn't a downpour. It's just dull and drizzle. So 8 o'clock, 7:30, 7 o'clock, right? The yellow is 4 to 8 mil per hour. Um, so I'm pretty much at 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. So they can see that there's been plenty of rain in my opinion overnight. Can't prove exactly how much, and I'm not going to. Um, let's look into the future a bit. So let's go in 1 hour increments. So the next one will be 10:30, 11:30, 12:30. So there you can see heavy rain just before kick-off. 1:30, 2:30, and there you go. So they've had plenty of rain already, and they're going to have some rain again. So let's get into it. Oh no, please don't, please tell me this works. And it does. So I had a free bet. I just had a fiver on Tommy Fleetwood. Haven't seen a shot, don't intend on watching a shot. He's just, I've heard his name mentioned quite a few times in the past, always slipped up, always done this. I used to back him years ago when he was unknown and he was regularly 150 to 1 and he regularly used to come in the top seven. So the value is probably gone now because he's a much better golfer, but it was a £5 free bet and I just did it just for the sake of an interest. The first selection in the five pence each way Goliath is Dusky Days. It's in the 2:15 at Cartmel. Not going to elaborate too much on this. It's Charlotte Jones for James Moffat. It's gradually running into a little bit of form. It ran okay last time when it led, weakened gradually late on. I think it could run well again. I think it's about 9 or 10 to 1, so it shouldn't be about that price. But I haven't taken the price, so it could be any kind of price come kick-off. The next selection is Nibras Gold in the 240 at Market Raisin. I was looking, so my angle at Market Raisin is the last time, sorry, not the last time, maybe the time before when I did a video, I tipped, was it the first three winners? I think it was on a Sunday. It might have been that actually, I think it was the last video. Malangan was the horse. And Malangan, I said, it was very slow, but if it goes to the front, it might gallop them into the ground, and that's what it did. If you remember Market Raisin, they had an inspection before the before the race meeting took place, before the meeting took place. It was, I think, it was just because they'd had a bit of a downpour. It wasn't heavy or anything like that, but they were strung out like washing. Malanga went to the front and was absolutely miles clear all the way around. I think it won by about 15 lengths in the end, but it was never troubled. It was really well spread out. Market Raisin are also going to have a lot of rain again. I can't remember if they've had the rain already or going to have rain. I think they're going to have the rain. I think it's now. I think it's now. I think it starts in 1 hour, and that is about now. In fact, let's have a look, shall we? So I actually don't know if you can see these pictures. You know, when I keep flicking from screen to screen. Crikey! Oh, that's 3:30. So today, 9 o'clock. So yeah, 9:30. So that's just before racing. So it's surrounded by rain now. So yeah, they're gonna have a fair amount. Let's see if they've had some already. So let's go from it's 9 o'clock. Let's go to 8 o'clock. Right, let's go a bit. So in the last half an hour, so it's now 8:30 on the time, and it's 8:57 as I'm doing this. So the rain was heading towards them. So you can see that there's, and then all of a sudden it disappears. I think we're getting the gist that there's been plenty of rain, and there's been a little bit of rain, and there's going to be quite a bit more rain. So market raisin, I'm going for front runners or horses that can handle the going, the going. So Nibras Gold, it's one of the outsiders, and I think it's trained by James Owen, and I think he's got three in the race. The reason why I've gone for it is because it was trained by David Pipe. Didn't do a great deal. Don't get me wrong, still rated about 117, but an inconsistent 117 over chasers and hurdling. If I'm right about this, James Owen hasn't sent it over hurdles yet. He's had three flat runs and it's ran extremely well, starting off with a mark of 67 and now off 74 after running well. And I think it's also won its last run. If it goes to the front, in my opinion, it could be difficult to catch. Or should I say, if it isn't difficult to catch, if it goes to the front, it's its best chance of running a decent race. There's an awful lot of hold-up horses. If this horse could easily get an easy lead, I'm just concerned that the favourite might attempt the same tactics. But yeah, Nibras Gold in the 240 at market raisin. The next selection is Book of Secrets in the 250 at Cartmel. James Moffat has got two in this race. This is his outside of the two, but I say outside the two, they're both fancied. I think one's fives and one's 11-2. Book of Secrets, it's got a chance because it's got something called something like Lower Nareki or something, or Noah Larecki, something like that, claiming 10. This jockey has ridden this horse before, and it's right. It's actually ridden it. Sorry, this person has ridden it. I'm saying person because I don't know if it's a bloke or a woman or something else. Um, claiming 10. This person has been on board, I think, twice, but both the times at Hexham. Not that makes a great deal of difference, but this jockey hasn't been on it over this course. That isn't the angle. The angle is this jockey has also ridden against professional jockeys when it came third. This this horse has also handled heavy ground. So if this ground changes massively, we know it handles the course, we know it handles the ground, and you've got an okay jockey taking 10 off with James Moffat, um, basically a course and distance specialist or a course specialist. That's the trainer that is. The next selection is an interesting one, and it's like it could be a daft selection, but it's not a huge price. Well, it's about 9-1. It's Horonzo Dairy in the 312 at Market Raisin in the Summer Plate. So this is Sarah Bradstock. This horse, I believe, was trained by Willie Mullins. It went to Michael Keedy and ran in the Grand National and ran, I don't know, somewhere else. Might be New Toxter. This horse could go from the front. It handles slow ground, stays forever, as you're well aware. Don't get me wrong, I think it's 2 mile 5 this race. Obviously, Grand National's 4 mile 2. It's his first ever run for Sarah Bradstock. However, this horse has shown little bits of form for Willie Mullins over, I think, about 2 mile 2 furlong before he got stepped up. I think its best form is over staying trips. But if this horse goes to the front and is expected to run well, as in like they're not just, I don't. I would like to know if she's actually targeted this race or if they just want to see what they've got. I don't know. But if they go to the front, this horse handles slow ground. It stays forever. Sarah Bradstock is a decent trainer of probably front runners in because she had that what at Vango. Then she had the and I'm not can't remember this horse. I can't remember its name now. The Gold Cup winner. Did it win it? Win it as a novice? I'm sure it begins with C. Just I think it's just one word and all. But I probably made myself look stupid there because it's probably 2 words and doesn't start with C. Anyway, I just think if it goes to the front, could be difficult to catch. So I've gone for another obvious one. It's Poet's Dawn in the 17 minutes past 3 race at Ripon. It's very much a course and distance favouring course. If your horse can run over the course and distance, you've got a good chance. And this horse also handles the ground. I've took 11 to 1. It's the only price I've taken. I just think that there aren't as many question marks over this horse than what there is of others. Easterby, or there are some other Easterby runners. Maybe this horse has been put in there to set the race up for one of the others. I don't know, but I can't ignore it. Jake Dixon, the jockey on board today, has ridden it in the past, and I think he rode it in this race last year when it didn't run fantastic. But it's off a similar mark. I'm not sure if it's slightly above or slightly below. But Jake Dixon takes a ride. This horse likes the ground. If you go back 2 runs, it led a big field at York for a while. So I think if this horse goes to the front, it could be very difficult to peg back. However, I think the favourite is something like A Up Its Boss, or it's one of the A Up horses, and it does tend to like to lead. So I just hope that they don't go mad in front, or I'm hoping that A Up Its Boss, or whatever the horse is called, doesn't take Poet's Dawn on, or Poet's Dawn sits in second and doesn't contest the lead. So we'll see. The next selection is an interesting one because in the past I have seen at Newbury when the ground turns atrocious, they do seem to come up, and I think it's the near side. It's high numbers. I'm not guaranteeing you a draw bias. I'm saying that I remember when the ground was bad, and I think it was in this race in the past where they have massively hugged this 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 rail. I think it's high numbers. So I've gone for big fun. It's a big price. They're paying 5 places though, but it's Kevin Ryan. If this horse gets straight to the front, bags the rail, I think if that draw is favourable, I think 25 to 1 is far too big a price. It's got a lot to find on the other horses, but they're impossible to work out. These races are. I think it's a sales race into this, and they've all got different weights, and I don't know how it works, but it doesn't look that well treated. But if it bags that rail, it could be very dangerous. So big fun in the 3:30 at Newbury. That's a super sprint stakes. Right, so I want to show you these next two in shot. Monkey Pockets in the 5:50 at Doncaster and Athenian Spirit in the 5:45 at Doncaster. So what I've gone for is I've taken a bit of a chance. I would have liked to have taken the prices, but they weren't worth taking. I was looking for outsiders, but the problem is I think Monkey Pockets opened up at 20s and has ended up 12s. I'm not taking 12s, and it's not at this. Well, it probably is this time of day. It would be now best odds guarantee, but I'm going to leave it. Um, so basically, I'm taking a chance on both of these horses running to this near side, high numbers. They are both drawn high. I am looking for in the 5:15 the jockey to be switched on and there being a potential of a draw bias on this near side, which is high numbers at Doncaster on the straight course. And I'm going for the same thing with Athenian Spirit. However, with Athenian Spirit, after the first race, which is the 5:15, they may have cotton on if there is a draw bias. So it's not like it's going to come over by itself. But Monkey Pockets could be an interesting one. I think it's drawn 8 of 8. So if the jockey, if there might not be a draw bias, but I remember when it's chucked it down in the past where they have come near side, which is high numbers at Doncaster. I think it's more so when it's raining when they're running. or just before the running. Whereas, if you know what I mean, where if it rained the night before, they probably couldn't have more down the middle. But when the rain's getting into the ground there and then, and I'm sure they do pretty much tend to come near side. As the ground tends to dry out, they normally go middle and gradually edge over to far side, which is no low numbers. But I don't. There should be plenty of range. So, in my opinion, it should be low. It should be high numbers that run towards the near side, towards the bottom of, either towards the left-hand side of your television screen or the bottom of your television screen. So I wish you the very best of luck. What I might do is at 2 o'clock, it's Man U playing Leeds. I might just have a small bit on Man U just for a bit of fun. Um, and that's all. It's going to be a bit of fun. This Ruben Amrin needs to start winning, even though they're friendlies. You can't keep using all these matches as trial matches, or yeah, we're getting ready for next season. Well, he's not getting ready for next season, as in the one after. It needs to happen soon because they've backed him to the hilt. As in, don't run. They're gradually buying players, but the skin. So I think I'm not a Man U fan, but I just like to see a potential edge in something. So I did see on Sky that Man United were 3-4. I don't know what team they might put a different team out in both halves. It's just worth an interest. Just probably just while I'm cleaning up and waiting for the racing, and probably listen to Mark Goldbridge on that's football, or no, sorry, United stand, won't it? Anyway, if you can give me a like, a subscribe, or whatever you'd like to do, share. You won't share the video, so I'm not even going to ask for it. But I wish you the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.